Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm a lactation consultant at Health Access Thorncliffe Park. This is our online infant feeding resource center.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and I'm a registered dietitian with Health Access Thorncliffe Park. Today, we're going to be discussing nutrition requirements in the first year of life. Catherine will be talking about the 0 to 6 month olds, and I'll be talking about the 6 to 12 months old.
We follow the guidelines for the World Health Organization and Toronto Public Health, which is exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, followed by continued breastfeeding with the addition of solid or family foods for 2 or more years. Breast milk requirements of your baby will change from day 1 to months 3 and 6. In the early days, your breast milk capacity is growing steadily. I'm going to share a visual with you now. As your baby's stomach size increases from the size of a cherry through to an apricot and the size of an egg at the end of 2 weeks, your breast milk capacity increases as well. The more your baby feeds, the more milk you make. Babies need to feed at least 8 to 12 times in a 24-hour period. Those 8 to 12 feedings in a 24-hour feeding period can take at least 15 to 30 minutes or more. In the following weeks and months, your baby's stomach size increases. They will often have longer breaks in between their frequent feedings, and they become more efficient with their time at the breast. It is common to continue to breastfeed 8 to 12 times in 24 hours as babies get older. A reminder to watch your baby, not the clock. 8 to 12 times in a 24-hour feeding period is just a guideline. Your baby is unique and individual. Your baby will give you feeding cues when they are ready to feed. Your breast milk changes to keep up with the changing demands of your growing baby. Babies are not born knowing that they should sleep at night and be awake during the day. Your available milk volume and baby's feeding behavior determine the number of nighttime feedings. Wakefulness amino acids are found at peak times during the day and reach their lowest levels at night, whereas tryptophan, associated with drowsiness, peaks during the night.
Once your child shows some signs of feeding readiness, then you can start to introduce some new foods. Some signs of feeding readiness, including holding their head up on their own, sitting up with some support, opening their mouth wide when you offer food on a spoon, turning their face away when they don't want food, closing their lips over the spoon, and keeping the food in their mouth and swallowing it instead of pushing it away. Continue with current feeding method, either breastfeeding or other feeding methods, while adding other foods to their diet. The first solid foods should offer sources of iron. Some iron-rich foods to consider include iron-fortified infant cereals, beef, chicken, turkey, lamb, or pork, fish, eggs, or tofu. Make sure that the meat that is offered is minced or pureed into a fine texture so that the baby can enjoy it without the risk of choking. Between 6 and 12 months, infants should be offered iron-rich foods 2 or more times during the day. Be mindful of some common foods can cause allergic reactions. These foods include peanuts and other nut products, fish, eggs, wheat, and milk products. Avoid cow's milk until a baby is a year old at least. When introducing food that is among the list of common food allergens, avoid offering more than one of those foods per day and wait 2 days before introducing another common allergenic food to make sure that there is no allergic reaction, especially if one or both parents have a history of food allergies themselves. When any new food is offered, it is important that parents and caregivers watch for signs of allergic reactions. These signs may include red, swollen, rash or on their tongue, cheek, or lips, rash on other parts of their body, vomiting, or difficulty breathing. Start with soft or pureed foods and gradually increase the texture as the baby gets older and is more comfortable with feeding. Delay the introduction of lumpy textures beyond 9 months can cause feeding difficulties as your baby gets older and eats less amounts of nutritious foods such as vegetables and fruit. So make sure that you don't hold off on introducing more texture too late to make sure that your children are able to eat a wide variety of different types of foods. Foods to limit or avoid include hard or round objects, things like whole nuts, popcorn, raisins, and other dried fruits that are not cut into appropriate sizes, and whole grapes. Honey should also not be introduced until a baby is at least 1 year old. Children do not need fruit juices or sweetened beverages. The main beverages that you should be offering your baby are breast milk and sips of water, or the other feeding method if you're not breastfeeding. Some of the tools that may be helpful if you're feeding your baby include small spoons, small bowl, and for storage, ice cube trays or larger ice cube trays like these can work very well for storing the food in appropriate portion sizes to be reheated individually when the baby is ready to feed.